wonderful. I cannot believe that they put me on the poster. And of all the things going on, they put me. I'm very, very, very touched.
Hi, my name is Brennan LaBrie, and I'm a reporter from Port Townsend. It's on the other side of the water here. And I have published my own weekly newspaper, the Spruce Street Weekly, which I've done for almost 2 years now. But recently, I was chosen to be one of 12 kid reporters for Time for Kids out of over 400 entries nationwide. And I write for the website and also the magazine. And recently was my first article where I interviewed an Olympic bobsledder named Brie Shaw, who will be going to the 2010 Winter Olympic Games in Vancouver, BC, Canada next February. And I actually will be covering the games for Time for Kids. And being a kid reporter for Time for Kids has gotten me great chances to interview people such as Brie, as I just mentioned, and Apollo Ono. Anybody know Apollo? Apollo is a short track speed skater, and that is an ice skater. And he will be going to the Olympics, and this will be his 3rd games. And if he wins one more gold medal, he will be the American man with the most Winter Olympic gold medals. And right now he's tied with Eric Heiden for that title. And I was also on NPR News, National Public Radio, on their Weekend Edition with Scott Simon twice. And this all came to be because I like writing. And my 2nd grade teacher taught us that if we staple several pieces of paper together, then and get out a pencil or a pen, we have a book right there. And so that really inspired me to get into writing. And then one day when I was swinging on the swings in my playground, I thought to myself, hey, I kind of know what a newspaper is. Maybe I could start one and report local news. And loving new activities and new projects, I ran home after school and got a pencil and a regular copy sheet of paper and just started writing what was going on in my household. And I gave it to 5 people. And since then, the subscription rate has gone to 150 subscribers and growing. So that's been pretty exciting. Before I started writing my newspaper, I started reading the newspapers, and my favorite is the New York Times. And I noticed, and I really like newspapers because in a way they're similar to a house. Well, a house has different rooms for different reasons, and it's kind of the same with newspapers. A newspaper has different sections for different reasons. For example, the sports section for sports, and they have the art section for art. The front page with all the hard news and where opinions do not belong, and then the editorial section, the opinion section, where opinions belong. But when I read the newspapers, I noticed that a lot of their stories were bad news. And I thought, well, bad news isn't all the news. Actually, in fact, in the world there's more good news than there is bad news. I really love being a reporter, and being a reporter has gotten me a great excuse to go up to people and ask them all sorts of questions without them looking at me weird. And out of all the great stories I've done, my #1 favorite topic is people. And I really strongly believe that everyone has great stories in them, and people are the news. And so, and because everybody has a great story in them, all of you out there have a great story in you. You might be nervous or embarrassed to tell it, or you're wondering what people will think of it, or if you wrote it right. But really, what I love about writing, one thing, is that it's pretty much just you, your pen, and your paper. If you like it, you can give it to people, you can give it to all sorts of people, but if you don't, you pretty much can just put it aside and nobody would notice. And as I said a moment ago, all of you guys out there have a great story in you, so why doesn't everybody choose somebody that you don't know too well and ask them a few questions?
You having a good time?
Oh yes,
Is there a
great crowd. Even better than I expected, really. So I think I have to go now. They're wrapping up the interviews.
So we